Good evening. Two brothers who attacked police officers with knives at a West Bromwich shopping centre have been found not guilty of trying to kill them. The officers attempted to stop and search 26-year-old Maninder Hunjan and 37-year-old Parminder Hunjan, but were stabbed. The pair have been found guilty of wounding with intent and possession of an imitation firearm, but they were cleared of attempted murder. A warning that Lewis Warner's report begins with detailed footage of the attack that some may find distressing.
What officers thought would be a simple stop and search quickly turns ugly.
Guys, stop there a minute.
But it's not the public that these men with knives are targeting. Instead, it's the police.
Stop now! Stop!
Body cam footage shows just how quickly the men pull knives on the officers before lunging towards them. In the scuffle, officers use pepper spray to try and blur their attackers' vision.
We've got two people, Newsway, West Brom, they've got a knife! Two people got a knife!
Officers also try and warn shoppers of the danger. Some shops close their shutters, keeping customers safe inside.
Get back! Get back now! Get back! Get back now!
But the attackers aren't trying to escape. They're actively going after the officers. To protect himself, one of them is forced to grab a knife by the sharp end and force it away from his body. Both men are wrestled to the ground and arrested, but two officers have been injured. PC Mitu and PC Willits had only been in the job for 18 months.
It's terrifying. You just have to act and use your training and senses you've got, and you just have to act appropriately. While I'm detaining one brother on the floor, I look up and I notice PC Willits. He's got a lot of blood coming down the back of his head.
And that's when I see Leon with his injuries to his head. So obviously I'm shouting like, your head, because there's a lot of blood coming from him. He was only quite close to his eye, so I was a bit concerned on what's happened to him. And that's when he's pointed towards me shouting, "No, James, your head." And I look down and my stab vest's got blood on it, but it's detached where we don't normally detach it over here. So I'm looking around looking for injuries, but then because someone mentions my head, I've put my hand on the back of my head and just looked, and it's just full of blood.
The attackers, 26-year-old Maninder Hunjan and 37-year-old Parminder Hunjan, both from Smethwick. Today they were found guilty of wounding with intent and possessing an imitation firearm. On that bright July day, officers said the pair stood out. In almost 30-degree heat, most people were wearing shorts and t-shirts, but they had all black clothing and were even wearing gloves. At the time, police had special powers to stop and search people without having reasonable grounds. During the trial at Wolverhampton Crown Court, Maninder Hunjan told jurors he didn't realise they were police officers and thought they were trying to attack him and his family. He admitted being under the influence of cannabis and said sometimes it gave him hallucinations. Thankfully, the officers' injuries weren't life-threatening and seemingly haven't deterred them from duty.
I think if anything, it solidified my choice to want to stay in and be career long. Everyone will still come together as a whole and make sure that the job gets done properly and everyone's safe.
And everyone else was kept safe that day. In the minds of these officers, it's a job well done and a job worth doing. Lewis Warner, ITV News.